Hi, brothers and sisters, and welcome back or welcome to Lesson Gems. My name is Brother Lammers. I have the lesson that is assigned in your seminary teacher curriculum that is lesson number 138, or the part 2, second half of sections 127 and 128. Let's get into it. The desired outcome for today is to help our students to know and understand more about temple and family history work, but how to live it. Sometimes we can talk about information or talk about stuff, or just talk about it. That it being temple and family history work, can I offer you some suggestions and different ways that we can help define, model, and then help our students practice how to do temple and family history work? Sometimes they might not know what to do or have never done it before, and that's okay. So let's start from the top, very intro level of temple and family history work, and then show them different ways that they can easily access and do it. So the learning activity or the readiness for today for me is very simple because it's going to bring me right into how can I help them practice this. I want to spend just a couple of minutes. I don't want to rush this, but I also want to know that this isn't the heart of my lesson. Why? Why do we want to do temple and family history work? Let me offer you 3 different principles that are right here in your resources. Number 1, invite them to look for why is it important from Elder Cook and President Eyring, and they should get this principle or help them see this, that if their heart and mind, if it works for them that I want to fulfill an obligation, here's your obligation, that we are obligated to help those who have come before us. And the quote from Elder Cook and then this 30-second video from President Eyring really emphasizes that obligation. Principles 2 and 3 are right here. The salvation is essential to our salvation, and our ancestors without this cannot progress. So again, just 3 simple principles. And that's not all, but that's just 3 simple principles of why I want to care and try to be better at, or start, or be better at family history work and temple and family history work. So now as we get into different reasons why, here's where I want to help them practice. I want to show them how to do it. I want to model it and then practice. So here is just a few different ways that I'll invite you to consider. So number 1, become familiar with your family tree and FamilySearch. They're going to need a phone for this if you want them to practice with you. So you might want to help them by inviting them the night before or sending out an invitation to parents saying, hey, we're going to be going over the family tree app and then the tools app in the gospel in your tools of your phone. And so inviting families to consider sending their children with a phone if they don't have it, or to download those 2 apps if they don't have it. But what if they've never created a church user account? So please help them to do so. They can do so by going to this website right here. It's called account.churchofjesuschrist.org. They can then create a username and account if they have not done so. So please don't walk through this with them, and just encourage them if they have not done so. Here's how you do it. They can figure it out. You don't want to waste 5 to 10 minutes helping students to log in. If they have made an account and don't know what it is or where it is, if they go to account recovery, meaning they go to account.churchofjesuschrist.org, go to account recovery, and if they'll get their member record number from a member of their bishopric, if they know the email address that they used or their mobile phone, here is, it's my email address right here. You click on that and it'll bring them, how do I recover my church account? So again, that's just starting from the very basics. Now, if they've done so, help them understand or to know what it is to open the FamilySearch app. So if I'm here in the FamilySearch app or the family tree, okay, I've got it right here in front of me. Here's my family tree. Going in, if I go down to this little button right here, make sure I see it here. I go down here to more. This is fun. All of your students have probably done it already if they've used this, but you go to here to relatives around me and they turn it on and give this a time limit, only take like 2 or 3 minutes, and they can see all the people in the class that they have related to or how they're related to them. It's just a fun way to do it. Then after you do that, show them into family tree, bring them into temple, because in temple we're going to go into ordinances ready. If they touch on ordinances ready, here is a really simple way that they can take family relatives to the temple and to bring them to be baptized for that family name. They touch on right here, again, I'll start from the beginning. If you touch on temple, you go here to ordinances ready. Once you touch on ordinances ready, you touch on baptism and confirmation, and it will automatically find relatives of yours that you could now bring to the temple. If you hit take to the temple, it's going to bring you a QR code. You don't even need to print it out. That QR code is what you bring to the temple. If you bring it into the office, they'll print out those slips for you, or you can print them out at your own house. But again, walk them through, help them see that they can do this. Now, once you get into ordinances ready, again, bring them through the names that they're going to use, like this. So I have these names that I have in ordinances ready, and let's see, what about Irvin Jed Osborne? Have them read through and be deliberate about who they're going to take. Okay, he lived here, he died here, these are the different things. Here's the name of his spouse. What about his family? Okay, here's his brothers and sisters. Sometimes they have memories in different ways. Okay, here's his gravestone. Other times there's a lot of stuff in there because people have done their family history work and they've given you, and you get to know about who this person is before I go. So it's not just this checking off a box, oh, it's the name of my family, but we can be deliberate about bringing our family there and to learning a little bit about who they are. Then, if we want to, we can help them to schedule appointments or to learn how to do that, again, right here in the apps that the church has given us. So if I change apps here and if I go to Member Tools, in Member Tools, I got to make sure that I get the right password here. If I enter Member Tools and if I click on Temple and Family History, this is where I'm going to be able to, one, schedule an appointment. So I click on Schedule an Appointment. It brings me to my temple. I have to sign in to churchofjesuschrist.org. Again, church username and password, and it will allow me to schedule an appointment right there. So if I, again, go back to Tools, brings me here, brings me right into Ordinances Ready. All things are connected, both of these apps. But again, walk through them with them. Teach them saying, hey, here's what it looks like to use these apps to be ready to go to the temple. Then, if you are ready with them, if they are trying to prepare to go to the temple, and here are some things to consider. If they go to temples.churchofjesuschrist.org, here are different ways that they can prepare, and if they're signed in with their username and password, they can make these appointments if they're on a laptop. But there's this port right here, prepare for the temple. Different ways that they can think about spiritually to prepare, to be ready for the temple. But then also, please help them prepare practically. I had a young man many years ago. I was in the young men's organization, and we brought the young men to the temple, and it was this young man's first time, and he had not been told by his family and us as leaders, as spaced, helping them practically, and he either didn't get the little jumpsuit that they wear for underwear, or didn't think about it, or he was embarrassed or scared, but he wore his underwear, and he didn't have an extra pair. And so he then put on his clothes with the wet underwear, and it was kind of funny because he looked like, if you know who He-Man is, he looked like he had the He-Man outline on his pants. And it was embarrassing for him, and it was his very first experience. So teach them, if they have jumpsuits at the temple, that you wear the jumpsuits and you take off the underwear. And again, just practical things like that these 12 and 13-year-olds may not think about, or if they are a 14 to 18-year-old in your seminary class and this is their first time, help them prepare practically. So there's just different ways that we can use the Gospel Library app, the Member Tools app, and the Family Tree app that are all synced together, that it's, again, practical. And not only is it practical, but it's all built in to help us to be successful in practicing temple and family history work. And then I want to end my lesson with these two wonderful questions. How do you think the temple and family history work is a righteous offering to God? Even if we're not very good at it, even if it is very simple, why is this a righteous offering? And then what will we do? What do you feel inspired to go and do? Even if you live 4 hours away from a temple, or if you live 20 minutes from a temple, wherever it is, what can you do to get to the temple and to practice temple and family history work? Brothers and sisters, I know that this one is a little bit more hands-on in practice and practical, but please assume that your young men and women don't know about this. Some of them might have done it, and some might have done it a couple of times, but go through it with them. Bring them into the Gospel Library app. Bring them into the Member Tools app, and then also your Family Tree app. Invite them to get that church user account. Invite them to download these apps. Walk through them, teach them. Help them know that they can participate in temple and family history work, and it's pretty simple with the tools that the church has given us. So, brothers and sisters, you are so amazing and so wonderful. Help them understand the things that they're doing are a sacrifice unto Jesus Christ, and we are acting as saviors on Mount Zion, as the scriptures as they teach us. We are acting like Jesus Christ when we are helping others to get to the temple because they cannot do it themselves. We love you so much. We thank you so much for all that you do to love these wonderful students. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll see you next week.